Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dr. Ding-a-ling Show, everybody! Yeah! Yeah, but you're never gonna live that down.
No, that was a huge mistake.
What happened at work when they saw that video?
Love everybody. I guess Will made sure everybody that worked there saw it. Like new workers that have just started.
Really?
It's good to meet you.
Oh, you got new employees in that first?
Yeah, because there's a lot of training. We got a lot of new folks.
And their first introduction to you was Dr. Ding-a-ling?
Pretty much. And the bad thing, the worst part was Stephanie, Will's queen.
Yes.
And, she came in and that morning, and she was just looking at me, just kind of smiling. She's like, is everything okay? And she just looked at me as serious as could be and said, of course it is Dr. Ding-a-ling.
Nice.
And so it started.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I think I probably talked about Dr. Ding-a-ling too much on the radio yesterday. Yeah. So I may have gotten in trouble. But that's okay.
See, I'm worried because my dad, his 90th birthday is this weekend, and we're the family's all going up there and going to surprise him. My dad is on Facebook. He's friends with me and my sister.
Oh.
And several of my girl cousins, we got like a group. They were like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. I showed it to my kids.
Oh no.
Oh
God.
Yeah, my whole family's gonna disown me.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, they thought it was funny, but
yeah,
I'm hoping that, I don't know how the algorithms work, but I'm praying to God that my dad doesn't see it.
No, you're gonna walk into his house this weekend and he's gonna go, Dr. Ding-a-ling, so good to see you.
I know the guys at the shop seen it, so
yeah, it was a hit, bro. Everybody loved it. I mean, people telling us that they hadn't laughed that hard in years. I mean, you did people a solid, honestly. So it's not all bad.
Okay.
I mean, it ruins your reputation, but it's not all bad.
Yeah.
It was just the shock of the whole thing. When you got into the bit, it was the shock.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the big thing was, I mean, I've noticed my butt's a little flabby. I need to work on that.
Got to get to Mandu.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm getting that. Once I get the groove of working and stuff, I'm gonna maybe start with one day and then figure out like my teaching schedule and all that, and try and move it into 2 days.
Well, we're waiting on you at Mandu.
I'm ready, baby. I'm ready.
I've had a bunch of stuff going on backstage personally, and it's had me miss a few Mandu sessions, but I went Monday, and I plan on going tomorrow, and hopefully next week I'll get back in the groove of, because it was like I had gotten these protein shakes and everything, and I was like really ready to kick it into high gear, and then a bunch of crap just happened in my life.
That's what happens.
I was like, threw everything off. But we're gonna make it work. It's fine. It's fine. Have y'all seen this fire? This apparently just happened today, and it's out of. Actually, I don't know where it's out of. I think it's like Spain or Argentina or something. It was some sort of town I couldn't pronounce.
Yeah.
It's a casino that caught on fire, and look at this footage. This is crazy.
Oh my!
Wow.
That's a lot of smoke.
I know. All that money, all that cash getting burned up.
It reminds me a little bit of Pearl Harbor. All that.
It's the Pearl Harbor of casinos.
Man, that's huge.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I have no context on that, but I was like, wow. The Royal Yak.
Dang.
Is what it's called, apparently.
That was a big fire right there.
Anyway, I just thought that was fascinating. I don't know if it's like the Birmingham race course used to be, somebody just dropped a cigarette and missed the ashtray, set the place on fire. You know, you used to go in there when everybody was smoking. I mean, it'd just be this thick blanket of smoke. I've been there a couple times, like back in, I don't know, not the early 2000s, but like maybe 2009 or 10. I had some coworkers that would like, hey man, come grab a beer at the race course, and I'm like, this place is kind of weird, and you feel it felt a little dirty. I think it's a lot different now, and they got slot machines and everything else. But you're like, because gambling is illegal in Alabama, you feel kind of weird, and you're like, when do they raid this place? Like, do I need to like make my time here short? But
well, I remember the good old days in the 90s when they actually had greyhounds.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I'd heard about the dog racing, but I've lived all around here 17 years, and I still have never went to that place. And I live pretty close to it, too.
We should go as wonder if they'd let us record in there.
Ironically enough, my accountant is the same accountant that does their bookwork.
Well, you know, AJ works there.
Yeah.
That would be a great field trip for us.
We could do
did
that.
Tony's Tesla. Then we could do that. And what we can do is we can pretend like they're racing.
Yeah.
And
We
put the
could
camera in front, like go.
we could send you out on the track, and you could start running, and me and Tony would be up in the booth, like betting on you.
We could pay the money to have him in the race and make him like a furry, dressed up as a furry, and then get down and race.
Here we go. You know, I'll dress up like Dr. Dingaling.
Yeah.
What about that? And pull my pants down.
There's a horse named Dr. Dingling this round. How about that?
Look at the odds if he won, you know?
That actually would be funny.
That would be good. We'll plan that out when. I guess we're going to be taking a break next week from the podcast, just because people are doing stuff. You're going out of town, but as soon as we can, I don't know what the date is. Tony, you may know, but as soon as we can, we'll be back in studio. What is the end of next week, or is it going to be the following week?
We'll probably start out fresh, like Monday next week. Is what I'm thinking.
A week after this.
A week after this, yeah.
This Monday, we'll be live in the studio for the radio show for inauguration, as it's a big day. Joe Biden gave his farewell address last night. Did any of y'all watch it?
I skimmed through it, and as soon as it popped up, I just kept going.
Yeah, it was interesting. We've actually got a clip of it just to give everybody a preview. In case you missed Joe Biden's farewell address last night, this is it.
Hello, Americans. It's your boy, Dank Brandon, coming to you for the last time. I'd like to take a moment to say a few words. Gubernatorial, sassafras, vagabond, gobbledygook, gingivitis. Now that that's out of the way. I'd like to thank my aides. And no, I don't mean the kind I got from giving Magic Johnson that Medal of Freedom. There's nothing to worry about because I'm dying anyways. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, AIDS. The staff here at the White House are the real heroes. I had to work about 45 grueling days in the last 4 years, and the aides ran the country the rest of the time. Oh, and to Gavin Newscomb, you burned Hunter's finger paintings, and you now owe the big guy $5 million. Make the check out to cash.
10%.
Fucking done with this bullshit. Thank Brandon. Out.
Okay.
Dang.
Yeah,
What was he on?
I don't know. It was a very interesting farewell speech. I've never seen anything like that before.
I tried to pause right over the F-bomb, but I missed it just barely.
You ain't gonna catch that, Cole. It ain't gonna matter.
Need it.
So yeah, that was his speech was just full of, oh, look at what we did.
Yeah.
Be wary of the future and all these bad things. This was my favorite part. He talked about the tech industrial complex and to be fearful of that. And what he means by that is be fearful of the fact that Mark Zuckerberg says he's not going to fact check people anymore in the current state of Twitter. He's like, oh, there's misinformation. It's going to destroy the country.
Be wary of all those automobiles that are on the road now.
It's amazing that leaders have the audacity to say, be afraid of people talking, you know, especially in this country, which is supposed to be, you know, like we're supposed to have the First Amendment. The View, they discussed it as well. Joy Behar is obviously very distraught over this as they watch Joe Biden's farewell speech. This was The View earlier today.
So I miss him already. I miss him.
Feels like a donkey.
He's a good person. You know, he spent the last 50 years caring about the country. This other one spent 50 years scamming everybody, you know, and trying to stay out of jail.
It's the
you know
opposite.
what I'm talking about. You know, I really miss Biden. I feel like we were safe. Like, I didn't have to worry. Was everything going to blow up? Well, I could live my life while he was there. Now, every day I wake up and I worry, what is this guy going to do next?
Oh,
And these oligarchs, can I just say one more thing and then I'll shut up?
No. You don't have to shut up.
They need to start shelling their money out. These guys, Bezos and what's his name? Musk. They give it to Trump. Yeah. Do they think that they're going to live forever, these people? You know, everybody dies. I hate to break it to them, but you are not going to live forever. According to the World Food Program, we could end world hunger by 2030 with $40 billion. That's all it would take.
Okay. They're going down this road of, they're sending that money to Trump, and they could have solved world hunger. What about the $1.5 billion that was raised by Kamala Harris? You never brought up world hunger then. The View, how stupid. Hopefully YouTube cuts that out for copyright. I don't think we should put anybody through watching that.
And I gotta say they could have solved world hunger 5 times over with the Ukraine money there.
I was thinking the same thing.
Bingo. On their way out, though, the Biden administration, they're making sure that they are making a statement. You know, they're really showing who they truly are, which is, you know, it's a good thing. You want people to know, hey, this is who I am. This is what we've done.
Well, the curtain's been pulled back. So.
And then now that the curtain's been pulled back, they are no longer wearing their mask. And as Joe Biden preaches about the free press in his farewell speech and the dangers of it ending, Antony Blinken is kicking people out of his final press conference at the Pentagon.
Free people. You pontificate about a free press. You pontificate about a free press. You are hurting me. You are hurting me. You are hurting me. I am asking questions after being told by Matt Miller that he will not answer my questions until I'm asked.
Please, sir, respect the process. We'll have an opportunity to take questions in a few minutes.
Wasn't the point of the May 31st statement to block the ICJ orders? You blocked the ICJ orders.
Please, sir, respect the process. Thank you.
Oh, respect the process. Respect this process while everybody from Amnesty International, to the ICJ saying that Israel's doing genocide and extermination, and you're telling me to respect the process. Criminal, why aren't you in The Hague? Why aren't you in The Hague? Why aren't you in The Hague?
Oh, man. Wow, things are going well for the Biden administration on the way out. Man, how about that? Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Man, this is, you got to admit, though, if you were part of that administration, especially somebody that was prominent, that was up front, you know, at the podiums and speaking, like, your legacy just got shat all over. Like, your legacy is done. Like, this is the most embarrassing 4 years of a presidential administration ever.
It's not even close.
Like, it's bad. And I don't know that anybody within that administration can recover. I don't know that they can come back. Like Kamala Harris, they say she wants to run for the governor of California. Even as backwards as California is, I don't think that can happen, Cole. I don't unless you wait until you're 90 years old and there's a new generation of people voting that don't remember the Biden administration. I don't think you can pull it off.
Well, the interesting thing is, and I hate to say in vogue, but that's kind of the way the country works. Conservatism and Trump are in vogue. You know, I mean, you've got people like, you know, for instance, with the California wildfires, you know, no matter how Newsom and the gang try and spin it, people are focusing on why wasn't there water. They're focusing on the things that I think normally maybe 2 years ago they wouldn't be focusing on.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, do they want more of that? And I think the next governor may still be liberal, but will not be hard left.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, there's a lot of red in California. It's just those concentrated pockets that are blue.
They're the ones that take it all, yeah.
And, I mean, I assume everybody in L.A. who votes solidly blue are going to have to vote from somewhere else now. I mean,
Yeah, I think all these CVS's closing down there. They ought to open up the TDS, health department, and just have like little like mini stores all put around like American Family Healthcare or something.
yeah, or just have some
TDS
sort
pharmacy.
of TDS treatment suppositories that you can pick up at CVS. I mean, obviously you have to put them behind the glass and have an employee give it
Suppositories?
to you. Yeah,
Well, a lot of the left probably
they would enjoy that.
they wouldn't stay in. Stop
They'd fall right out.
I could think of something like if they went to those places, it's like their prescription would be like 30 minutes of InfoWars a day, and all this other crap.
That's true. Force them to watch Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Twitter. Make them watch him on X.
Yeah.
There was another guy that got manhandled. This was actually a Republican, and he's a Georgia state lawmaker, and he apparently had been barred from going to the House floor, the state House floor. I don't know why. I don't know what the backstory is on this, but he shows up and they won't let him in. Somebody shoves him, and he does the biggest LeBron flop you've ever seen. All right, now granted, he shouldn't have been pushed, and chances are the reason he got kicked out is probably unjustified based on the fact that he's a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that back in 2023 was going after Fani Willis as they were trying to attack Trump. But here's that interaction that went down. I guess this was from today, maybe.
Stop, that's it.
Le flop. Is he that much bigger than that police officer?
I have an obligation to be in that room. I represent 200,000 people in Northwest Georgia who duly elected me to be here today.
I like when you deal with state lawmakers in places like Georgia or Alabama. I got 200,000 people that elected me to be here.
Oh man.
I don't know. I don't know any of the backstory on this. Maybe it's a bigger deal than I'm making it out to be. But, there's some goofballs in Georgia. People get elected from Atlanta, Fulton County. You got same thing in Tennessee and Nashville. Remember, you had, and Murphy talked about this a lot, got involved with it, Gloria Johnson. You had the Tennessee Three, I think they called them, and they were just like far out leftists.
Yeah.
And they got kicked out of the Tennessee State House. Like they got what do you call it when you get somebody dismissed from Congress?
Censored?
No,
Expunged?
where you get them where they get
Barred?
completely kicked out, like evicted. But I don't know.
Banned?
A recall. I don't know. I don't know what it was. But they got booted out, and then they held another vote, and the people got voted in because it was such a liberal city or whatever. But the Congress, whether it's not on state level but on a federal level, it continues to get weirder and weirder. And I feel like I'm going to be honest, and we're going to have to come up with a different term for YouTube because YouTube's going to ding us if we say this over and over. But on the show today, I talked about Edophile Pays.
Sickos.
We'll call them sickos. I talked about sickos on the show today and how it seems like there are much more of them in our government than anybody realizes. Like, you take Tim Kaine, for instance. Tim Kaine gave that line of questioning to Pete Hegseth. We talked about it the other day, and he's like, oh, yeah, you were drunk and you cheated on your wife and everything else. And when I see somebody in Congress doing something like that, to somebody like Pete Hegseth, who is a man of character, who made mistakes like everybody else, I think, what kind of skeletons has this dude got in his closet? Yep. Like, if I were going to pin on members of Congress or people in the government to be sickos, I would say Tim Kaine's one of them. I would say Tim Walz is one of them.
Really?
I would say anybody named Tim is one of them.
Not Tim Melton, though.
Not Tim Melton.
Of course, he's not in the government.
And not Tim Scott.
No, Tim Scott, no.
Tim Scott's good. Who I don't even know the other Tims. But there are some weirdos in there. So Bongino gets tipped off by
I love him.
somebody he knows personally who had firsthand knowledge of some weird stuff that Tim Kaine was doing back when he was on the campaign trail with Hillary Clinton. Man, remember, he ran as her vice president.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this right here.
So during the show yesterday, I get a tip from a friend who says, Dan, it's really interesting that disgusting Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, Communist Democrats attacking Pete, because I have an unimpeachable source, firsthand witness, who told me, well, let's just read it here, that he witnessed Tim Kaine have, quote, nephews. He notes that's not a typo, plural, nephews. Come to his hotel room late evenings and leave in the morning when he was on the ticket with Hillary. He notes, and this guy has the nerve to attack Pete? Timbo, just curious, you got an answer for that? Is that a conspiracy theory? I mean, you're into unfounded allegations. The difference with this one is this seems to be founded by a first-hand witness passing this information on. What do you say about that? Do you want to go under oath? Talk about that one? Maybe you should get the people there who may have witnessed it under oath, and maybe they can talk about it. I mean, you seem to have a lot of unfounded information against Pete Hegseth you seem comfortable putting out there. What about the information against you? How many nephews do you have? Nephews? What are they doing over there? It's kind of weird, isn't it? What's going on in that hotel room? Timbo?
Timbo.
I have a real problem, though, with what he's saying because, maybe they were playing Monopoly or Twister, or maybe they were gambling.
They were definitely playing Twister.
Cigars and whiskey, just being guys. And you know what? I mean, I've only got one nephew, but maybe he comes from a big family, a big loving family with a lot of nephews.
My assumption, as when he's talking about nephews, he's talking about underage boys.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes, yeah. Okay.
Not like his grown nephew.
Yeah, okay.
And my other assumption is they aren't his nephews and that he's just for people that saw them or for them that were checking in at the hotel or whatever said, hey, I'm Tim Kaine's nephew. I'm going to spend the night with my uncle in a hotel room while he's running for vice president.
Must have ordered a couple hot dogs.
And gamble and drink whiskey and smoke cigars.
And play Twister.
Very naked Twister.
Naked Twister. These people are disgusting.
Jeez Louise.
There was that other OMG investigation, and I talked about it on the show for a couple days, where James O'Keefe sent a undercover reporter to. Here's what they do. This is what I understand they do. They will take females and males, and they will put them on a dating app. James O'Keefe's organization. They'll put them on a dating app that are known to host public officials. And then they will match with these public officials. Maybe they initiate the contact or vice versa. And they set up a date, and they go on a date with them. Well, this said public official, whoever it may be, somebody that works within the government, takes this person on a date, and it may be a guy dating a girl or a guy dating a guy or whatever. There's been several instances. They go on this date, and they start talking about themselves. Well, then they get to the point where they want to impress their date, so they start talking about, well, I work in the government, and I know this, and I know that, and this is what we're doing, and don't tell anybody this, but, yada, yada, yada. Well, they just recently did one, and the guy was a former FBI special agent. He works for the Department of Defense. He's one of the he's involved in the joint staff. Like, he's working with the top generals to make, like, major national security decisions. And he's a former special assistant to Hillary Clinton. And so he's got a very high-profile job and has done a lot of high-profile things, but being in the FBI and being in, security and all that, he's not smart enough to know, hey, don't tell this random chick, all these things you're doing. Well, he goes through and he tells her that he's meeting with generals the very next day so they can come up with a plan to undermine Donald Trump once he takes office. He's just spilling the beans, bro. He's just laying it all out there. So she gets all that information. They get it back to James O'Keefe. Well, then they go on a second date, and they're walking down the street or whatever, yada, yada. And then James O'Keefe walks up with a microphone. He's like, can you explain to us why you said X, Y, and Z, and does the whole ambush thing. And this actually is the footage of James O'Keefe coming up to him.
Jamie, you're a spy hunter, you say. Well, I'm a spy hunter too, but I'm evidently a better spy hunter than you.
We have no permission to use it.
Actually, we do. It's called the First Amendment. Why would you lie to me?
I'm not lying to you, and I'm not...
Do you lie every day at work?
No, I'm not lying.
Then why did you say that you are working with retired generals?
What are you talking about?
You were a special agent with the FBI. You worked for Hillary Clinton. You worked for the State Department. You talk about hunting spies. What if my undercover person was a Russian spy?
Go away, you liar. You're a known fraudster. You have a poor reputation. No one believes you. Go away. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, so this is the former FBI special agent. Is that right?
You're an asshole. You're an asshole. Go away. Go away.
There's no reason to get upset, sir.
Yeah, there is a reason. Go away. Leave me alone. Bother people in public.
No, I'm reporting on what you're saying. Because there's a First Amendment in this country, and I recognize you government people don't like...
Behind the First Amendment to get away with your freaking fraud and pranks.
Well, that fraud is a very serious accusation. That's a form of psychological projection. There you have the government official, quite angry.
So Jamie Menina is the guy's name. Jamie Menina. And I watched his reaction. I watched the investigative piece and his reaction and everything else, and... I'm like, what a scumbag this guy is to just go around and just put that stuff out there. But I wasn't surprised to find out just a few hours later that in 2021, he had been busted in a sicko sting going to meet an underage girl to have a little Dr. Ding-a-ling doctor appointment. Oh. That's right.
By the way, Dr. Dingaling does not condone this.
No, he does not. So he's got experience with cameras just coming out of nowhere and being like, what are you doing?
You would think. Man.
It's crazy. And so here's the video of it. Now, you may have to fast forward some of it because it goes dark because the camera crew goes in the closet. Yeah, here they go. Just go through the dark part, and then once you see him come back out of the closet, no pun intended, that's where we'll start.
To catch a special agent.
to catch a spy hunter. Man, get out of... Oh, there they go. All right, they're getting out of the closet now. Okay. I'll start it right here.
All right.
On that stool for me.
Jamie, how are you?
They would edit it.
We're friendly faces.
Nice
just have a seat there.
How are you?
Just take a seat for me.
I'm sorry, I don't want to be on
No,
well, you're already on camera. We're journalists. We want to hear your side of the story.
Who you are.
Well,
yeah.
I'm Jack Berkman.
I'm Jacob Wall.
You can just see
We're
him.
doing a story of adults who come to have sex with underage teens. Now, you've come here today to have
I'm
sex
not here to
with
do
an
anything,
underage
bro.
girl.
It's like the same thing every time they do.
You said no?
I said no, I didn't want to do it.
Why here you
He had
are?
his shoes
Why are
off.
you
He
here today?
locked the door.
Why don't we
He's gonna
chat?
get his
Let's go sit
coat.
down.
Get his coat.
Why don't you tell
They're
your
like, hey, man,
story
we
live?
don't want to hurt you. We want to ask you questions. Now,
We don't need your
these are
permission.
different than what
We don't need your
Wisconsin does
permission.
because
You
as
should
David
tell us.
Lynham talked about.
We want to hear
when
your
Chris
side
Hansen
of the
does a
story,
sting,
Jamie.
They will have
Tell us your side of the
police
story.
there.
He's waiting, yeah.
They're involved with the
Jamie, are
sheriff's
you a
department.
pedophile?
These are different. These are guys, from what I
Please
understand, are
answer
just
the question.
doing it on
And-
YouTube
and-
and happen to
You guys
get.
left this
And
with
they
the
didn't know at the time
to grab
that
and
this
say
guy
my
was a
schoolwork.
high-profile,
sorry.
FBI special assistant.
That's real.
They busted him. So it comes out after O'Keefe does his deal. And I don't know that O'Keefe is the one that found this, but somebody saw his piece and was like, "Oh crap, we got him in a sicko sting earlier in 2021."
They should have made him bring a pizza and stuff too.
It's like, okay, so you people talk about QAnon. I feel like QAnon's kind of died off. We really never got into it or whatever.
Yeah.
But their thing was that the government or the deep state was being run by this satanic sicko ring of people that were trying to destroy the country. And as each day goes on, I'm like, well, maybe that's true.
More and more.
I keep seeing these sickos get caught. Maybe I'm watching too much Chris Hansen, but every time I turn around, it's like so-and-so got busted with sicko pornography.
It's sad. It's sad, but I mean, you're right.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I would totally believe it nowadays. I mean, nobody goes around buying hundreds of hot dogs at a time.
No.
You know.
You remember when Trump, before the 2020 election, he sat down with Savannah Guthrie, and she was like, "Do you denounce white supremacy? Do you denounce QAnon? They say that there's sickos running the government, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, maybe here's a clip right here. He's like, well, I don't know. Maybe they are. You don't know that either. Watch.
All right, while we're denouncing, let me ask you about QAnon.
And watch her face when she gets mad.
That Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that that is completely not true and that disavow QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard, but I know nothing about it.
They believe it is a satanic cult run by the deep state.
Wait, pause it right there. Pause it right there. And just scroll back to just a second. Scroll back to her face and put it on
devil mode.
Yeah, look at that.
That's Satan right there.
You want to talk about a satanic,
God
ring?
It looks like an evil ventriloquist.
Give me your children.
Now drop.
I'm gonna eat your babies. All right, go ahead.
Subject. I'll tell you what I do know about. I know about Antifa, and I know about the radical left, and I know how violent they are and how vicious they are, and I know how they're burning down cities run by Democrats, not run by Republicans.
Republican Senator Ben Sass said, quote, QAnon is nuts, and real leaders call conspiracy theories conspiracy theories.
He may be
Why not
right.
just say it's
Can I be
crazy and not
honest?
true?
He may be right. I just don't know about QAnon.
You do know.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Let me ask you another thing.
Let's waste a whole show. You start off with white supremacy. I denounce it. You start off with something else. Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
I do have one more in this vein.
Let me just tell you, what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia. And I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree with it.
But there's not
very
a satanic pedophile
I have
cult
no
being run
idea.
by.
I know
You
nothing
don't know
about
that? Okay.
No, I don't know
You
that.
just this
neither
week.
do you know that.
Okay.
Neither do you. I mean, again, the evidence keeps popping up. There was today a journalist, not a journalist, but the cartoonist from the Washington Post was arrested for, we'll call it child corn.
What?
That's right. Here's the news release from the sheriff. Famed cartoonist arrested for possession of what they call CSAM, which is child sex abuse material. I'm trying to figure out what I can say without YouTube dinging me.
Bad things.
Sacramento Valley Internet Crimes Against Children detectives conducted an investigation stemming from a tip from the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children related to someone uploading child porn, also referred to as child corn. Okay. The tip was related to 18 files containing such material. The investigation continued, and a total of 134 videos of it were located and linked to the same account owned and controlled by 49-year-old Darren Bell. It says that this case was the first. Some of the child corn was AI generated as well, and they just put a law on the books that charges people for that, and he had some of that on there. He's the first case of people getting arrested for
and I'm sure they'll argue, well, nobody's getting hurt. Nobody's hurt.
Yeah, no,
it's not real.
It's just, that's your way of letting us know that you're a sicko and you need to be off the streets. Because you're not going to stop at AI.
No, absolutely not. It's going to lead to something else.
These are some of his cartoons right here.
Yeah, I was wondering.
This is his actual account, Darren Bell. The groomer is trying to turn our children into freaks. This is him being sarcastic. And so he shows, you go back one and you can see it's the guy that's apparently exposing himself to children, but it's on the other side, it's an elephant as in a Republican with bigotry written on his chest. It was like it's out in the open. Like, all you had to do was look at this guy's cartoons and be like, oh, yeah, he's a sicko. The other one, he's comparing people calling pedophiles groomers to Nazis. So if you call a sicko a groomer, you're essentially a Nazi. That'll gag. Here's another one. Trump's the molester. Gotcha. Gotcha. Democrat, very old guy. Republican, very old rapist. Okay, yeah. So you see, this is some of his fine work, and everything had to do with some sort of essay, as they call it. Essay, actual A.
San Antonio.
San Antonio assault. It's just crazy, man. It's like more and more of this stuff happens, and I often wonder, like, has it increased or has it always been like this? And it just went because back in the day with no internet or whatever, it went unreported. Because you do hear a lot of adults come out nowadays and say, I was assaulted when I was younger.
Yes.
You know, and there was nobody to tell back then. You know, you couldn't tell. People felt like they couldn't tell their parents or whatever because it was always like a trusted friend or an uncle.
I mean, that's
whatever.
just been around as long as man's been around. Look at the Greeks.
Yeah.
I mean, that sicko stuff was celebrated.
Well, it's still normal behavior in some areas of the Middle East, you know?
Yes, I'm sure it was always right. It's just now the curtain is being pulled back.
Did you hear about the teacher that was doing the nasty with an 11-year-old and got pregnant, had the child, and just hid it from everybody until his dad was like, hey, that baby looks like my kid.
Oh,
what?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Here's the teacher right here. Is this a video?
Yeah.
Yeah, play this video. This is the story.
She was trusted by the school district and by parents. But tonight, a fifth grade teacher in Cape May Courthouse is accused of having a sexual relationship with one of her students. Detectives say the abuse started when the child was 11 and lasted for years, and that the two share a child. Wednesday night, I'm Shari Williams. Rick has the night off. The big story on Action News tonight is a South Jersey teacher behind bars accused of sexually assaulting a young boy and having a child with him. Action News reporter Leland Pender has the story from Cape May County, and detectives say the investigation is far from over.
Middle Township Police and the Cape May County Prosecutor's Office both investigating here.
Yeah,
hey, Leland!
It's Leland live on Action News.
And 2020, but the arrest just coming Wednesday. They're now asking anyone that might have even more information to please come forward. Once a fifth grade teacher, now behind bars with bond revoked. 34-year-old Laura Karen was taken into custody at a home on Orbit Drive Wednesday in Cape May Courthouse. Prosecutors allege she sexually assaulted a former student for several years and had his baby.
Do you know Miss Karen? There's nothing to see here. There's no one that wants to speak with you.
This unidentified man pulled up to the home while we were there. A short time later, another woman appeared from the home after we'd already left.
Do you want to talk to us?
No, I don't. I want you to see.
You came outside. Please, I'm willing to talk to you. Authorities say the abuse began when the victim was 11 years old. According to the criminal complaint, a few years later, Karen gave birth to the victim's baby.
Yeah.
Karen taught at Middle Township Elementary No. 2, and the victim was once her student. Prosecutors say Karen and the victim's family became friends, leading to the victim and his siblings staying overnight with Karen once or twice a week, but at some point they began living with Karen permanently. Investigators say the case came to light last month when the victim's father posted on social media saying Karen's 5-year-old child looked very similar to him and his son. Neighbors say the arrest Wednesday appeared discreet. This woman said she saw
pause
multiple...
it real quick. So here's a question. All right, two things. One, all right, I always said it's somebody close to the family. Well, she works her way in and gets close to the family to the point that the little boy can go over and spend the night with her a couple times a week, and then at some point starts living with her. What kind of parents are these that are like, yeah, you can start living with this lady? But then second, when the dad notices the 5-year-old looks a lot like his son, he addresses it by posting it on social media.
I know it.
What's going on here? Oh, my God. I feel like, I mean, you know, the teacher is obviously a very deranged person, but the parents seem like they're pretty off as well.
It's like Facebook friends. I want to post something. Give me your opinion.
Give me your opinion. Here's a side-by-side of my kid and my kid's teacher's
But I mean,
kid.
she does look sorry from the picture.
Yeah, she looks very remorseful.
Yeah, she does. God almighty, what is
It's just we're living in bizarro world. This is Joe Biden's America. This ain't Trump's America until Monday. Right. We just got to get through the next few days.
Man.
It's just wild, man. Anyway.
Andrew, give me something funny, man. I'm going down here quick. This is heavy.
I don't know that I got anything else funny.
Come on, yeah, you do.
Unless you got another.
You want me to pull my pants down?
Yeah.
And stick my butt up in the air and wave it like I just don't care?
I'll close my eyes and we'll edit it on the backside.
Yeah, right. On the backside. I see what you did. On the backside.
Let's see if this makes you laugh. Look at this guy with the funny colored hair.
Oh, God.
You see him?
Yeah.
I
don't think that's his real hair.
Back out of that real quick. The story on this guy is that he is a school counselor at the Monona Grove School District. He reads books to children about kids becoming trans.
Here we go.
So that's him. This is, what does that blue one say? National Day of Reading, a celebration of stories supporting transgender and non-binary youth book readings with CGS Mr. Bergerman. Crafts for all ages. And there's the principal. I guess the question is, why is that principal allowing this guy to be the school counselor?
Oh, my goodness.
Because guess what? Guess what that guy's got on his computer?
Really?
I don't even have to investigate it to tell you what's on his computer.
Oh, my God. Well, he's very colorful.
Yeah, he is.
He's a colorful character, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then there's this. Okay, okay. So this is a disabled person, obviously, who, I mean, with whatever support system he has, they have allowed him
Timmy.
to... Tony.
I'm sorry.
Tony.
Live it out.
Tony. They have
South Park fan. I'm sorry.
Timmy.
They have allowed him to go from. I'm sorry. They have allowed her to go from a girl to a boy.
Oh my God! See
and
now.
this poor soul has had transition surgery, and as you see, the breasts have been removed. Looks like the nipples have been removed too. I don't know why they took those off. But yeah, go ahead and play that, Tony.
How are they supposed to know they need? Like,
Thank you.
Like, come
That's
on.
abuse, man. That's
Okay.
it's about Nazi stuff.
Black Betty, bam down.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna go there.
Oh.
Black Betty.
Take on me.
I'm not gay. I'm just transgender. Okay.
I know. Stop it.
You're gonna make it's gonna be
Tony.
stuck on my head forever.
I know, Tony. You brought all of this up.
Look at your email one more time, Tony. It's it's
Man,
that is. I mean, in reality, that's an awful situation, and the people that put that kid up through it or allowed him to do it should be ashamed of themselves.
I guess maybe the parents a lot, because he's got to have a caregiver.
Yeah, no doubt. And the pain and suffering that you got to go through initially to have the surgeries is one thing, but then, what kind of things does this person suffer from on the backside? I mean,
you can make the argument though, like they say, 2 and 3 year olds don't know what they're doing, and some say, they already know by that time. How are these people supposed to know?
When they're going to be stuck at that age for the rest of their lives. Because I mean, depending on, maybe that's a 5-year-old mentally, and will be for the rest of their lives. You can't get them to understand. And if that's really the way they talk and they can't communicate any other way, there is no way, mom or dad made that decision.
Yeah, what do? You go to the doctor and say, asked my kid if they wanted to have trans surgery, and they were like,
Well, a lot of times it's the doctors.
No, I'm just saying, they have no way to consent.
Now, a lot of the times the doctors will talk the parents into doing stuff like that. And it's really money and business
it makes
driven.
big money.
Yep. Yeah.
You have a member of Congress, actually a senator, who just got appointed to the Democrat minority whip, which is like third in line for the Democrat side of the senators, by the name of Sarah McBride. But the problem is Sarah McBride used to be Tim McBride. And Tim McBride is from the state of Delaware and is our first trans U.S. senator. And this is where Nancy Mace got in that big fight about who uses what bathroom back, a couple weeks ago. It was over this chick, this dude. And video came out today of her at a local school, assuming it's in Delaware, maybe D.C. or whatever. And she's reading books to these children. You can see them down at the bottom.
Here we go.
See they're about, these may be first graders, second graders at most, reading to them books about becoming trans. I want you to listen.
So I am going to read you I Am Jazz by Jessica Herfeld and Jazz Jennings.
Oh, no, that one.
Yeah.
I have a girl brain, but a boy body. This is called transgender. I was born this way. Then, one amazing day, everything changed. Mom and Dad took me to meet a new doctor who asked me lots and lots of questions.
And the doctor talked you into it.
Yeah. And he cut my wee Willie Winker off.
I heard the word transgender for the very first time. Mom and Dad told me I could start wearing girl clothes to school and growing my hair long.
I should have called the book Bye Bye Dr. Dingaling.
I don't mind being different. Different is special. But can I tell you what I like most about this book? I like most the story and the message because I want to tell you a little bit about myself. Is that okay?
No.
No.
So, I'm like Jazz. When I was born,
I like jazz too, but
doctors and my
oh,
parents,
just like jazz.
they all thought that I was a boy. But why? Well, because
You were.
Because you had a jerk.
Yeah.
But it took me getting a little bit older to be able to say that in my heart and in my mind, I knew I was really a girl. And I was very lucky, like Jazz, to have parents who love me and say that I can be whoever I want to be. So I was finally able to be myself.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Congrats to the parents on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, good
Good
job.
job, parents.
Good job, Mom and Dad.
Doctors. That cheer you up, Bird?
I mean, again, I think us. The thing is like, if consenting adults want to dress however they want to dress and do what they want to do, that's fine. And at the end of the day, if they want to chop their wee Willie Winker off, they can.
Yeah.
But the reality is, like, you remember back a long time ago when we used to hear all the time people say follow the science? Long time ago, years and years ago. I think we had a pandemic going on or something. They said follow the science. Well, the science tells you that gender dysphoria is an illness, and gender dysphoria will make you feel like you're in the wrong body. And used to, they would treat it, but now they condone it. So anyway, you're laughing at me.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm laughing at Tony.
Yeah. Go ahead and play it, Tony.
Tony.
He's been sitting on it for a while.
I just want to play it. Yeah,
laughing at Tony.
All right.
I'm rolling away because my legs are not the kind I take every day. That guys would be the problem. Happy today. At least I'm not.
All right, everybody.
I'm not gay. I'm not gay.
I want to hang out and party with this guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, if you think you're trans, maybe you're just gay. And that's okay. Just be gay. Don't, like, chop body parts off.
Yeah.
There's no reason to chop your body parts off if you're gay.
Unless you're a business or a doctor and you're trying to make revenue, so you try to get people to do
And
that.
then if you are a male and you transition to female and then date women, you definitely have a mental illness.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why did you do that? You could have just stayed where you were and been with women. Because I guess a lot of that is based on what people feel like they're attracted to, right?
I would think so.
Some of it has to do with trauma, things that happened to you when you were a kid.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing.
You know, you'll turn out certain ways, but I don't know.
I just know, like, too many, like, gay friends that are just straight gay. All this new stuff really bothers the crap out of them.
Yes.
They can't stand it.
Yeah. And I don't know.
We went too far.
You know, speaking of too far, we had a serious show when you put the camera on John Bird, and he is not only slouched. Go ahead, he's slouched, but he's out of the center of the camera. Like he has just gotten way out of frame.
There we go. Whoa!
I sure hope that AI puts him back in focus.
Oh hell no! You can't catch me. Catch me, AI bastard! You can't catch me. Huh?
That's pretty fast.
AI this. I got a headache now.
All right, we'll get out of here. That's enough. It was so last podcast we do before Donald Trump becomes president, we're talking about trends the whole time. Imagine that. We should have been talking about Donald Trump. I don't even know what we're going to name this episode now. So I guess we'll find out. Tony Gump, final words.
Final words. I can't believe most of this crap is real life. It still, boggles my mind that we've come this far, but we got to hang in there less than 100 hours. He'll be sworn in. Hopefully we can get a lot of executive orders going. I'm excited about next week. I'm excited about that happening. So let's just stay focused on that.
I just hope that they do like a deportation live stream. Maybe put a camera at the border and just let us see. Like, if you could tell people, hey, we're about to start deporting, and for those of you that want to self-deport, go to Eagle Pass and go through that portion of the gate to get back home, and then put a camera there, and we'll just sit there and we can count how many people get deported. It's like Fish Tank, but for illegal aliens.
I like that. And then we can also have Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass's biggest hits playing. So it'll be like, or where they're just going right down.
Or that band that you gave me their album on vinyl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was it called? They had the song called Gay Ranchero and Coming in the Back Door.
Yes.
I have
the
that
Marimba Mariachi Band or something like that.
Marimba Mariachi deal. Okay. John Bird, final words.
Yes. I don't know. I had a Zydeco burger today, and it was. I'm not feeling too good. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's delicious.
I love those burgers.
But I had my heart set on meatloaf. And I kept up with it all day, and it got to the end of my shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to order the meatloaf. They were out.
I got meatloaf at my house. We had meatloaf 2 nights ago.
Why the hell didn't you bring it?
I don't know. I didn't know you like meatloaf.
I'll follow you home.
Okay.
But anyway, I digress. Well, what I'm really trying to say is I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to say things that sound really important, like love your neighbor. Yeah. And make sure that when you do this, make sure that you tell everybody that when you're doing that. And don't, you know what? Don't do it if you don't feel comfortable with it. No one should have to force you to do it. It's something you should feel comfortable with. I would never make you do that or ever make you do that. And you guys would not do it to me. So people, you know what? Stop trying to make other people do it.
Kind of like hugging people, where you just walk up and hug people who didn't ask for a hug. I mean, I don't have a problem hugging you. I'm just saying. Maybe there's somebody out there that does have a problem with it.
Well, you know what? If there's one thing I am going to do, it's I'm going to hug you, and I'm coming for you. If I see you walking down across the street, I'm going to run across the street and give you a hug. So you watch out, I'm coming. I'm hugging.
He's coming.
You know what? As soon as you throw this pen, shut the hell up.
It's a song.
You know what? I might forget it.
All right, we'll get out of here.
All of my life.
Till next time.